Welcome to Basic Black. Some of you are joining us on our broadcast, and others of you are joining us on our digital platforms. I'm Callie Crossley, host of Under the Radar 89.7. Tonight, the resignation of Rachel Rollins, U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts, and Haitian Heritage Month. First, the resignation of U.S. Attorney for Massachusetts, Rachel Rollins. Joining me to discuss the details, Rahsaan Hall, principal of Rahsaan Hall Consulting, and former director, Racial Justice Program, ACLU of Massachusetts. Hi, Rahsaan, and thank you for helping us understand what this resignation means. Let me start off this way and just ask you to give us the details that are important for us to know of the two federal ethics probes into about Rachel Rollins.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Callie. It's really unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation. The details that have been revealed through these two ethics probes by the Office of Special Counsel and the Office of the Inspector General detail her violating the federal law, the Hatch Act, which tries to keep federal appointees out of politics. And so attending a political fundraiser where Dr. Joe Biden was present, weighing in on the Suffolk County District Attorney's race by leaking confidential information to various press outlets about one of the candidates, Kevin Hayden, and also using her position and influence to gain benefits, like getting tickets to the Celtics game. So those are some of the most high-profile things that were complained about or reported on in both of those investigations.
Now, obviously, they thought that these things were worthy of investigating and reporting about. To your eye, as an attorney and someone who knows this landscape well, are you concerned about what could happen to Rachel Rollins at this point? We should say she is resigning. She offered to resign, and that's on the table. So where do you see this, though, in spite of that?
Yeah, despite the fact that she has tendered her resignation and will be resigning, there are still several concerns that she has. One is the ethics concerns. Her license to practice law may come into question. The Board of Bar Overseers may conduct an investigation and could issue any level of discipline from a mere reprimand to up to disbarment. There's also the potential for criminal charges. 18 U.S.C. Section 1001 allows for prosecution of individuals for knowingly making false statements to federal agents, which is something that she did when being investigated. She was questioned and gave information that was later found out to be false.
Now, Rahsaan, you have said you felt that there were motivations for the investigation, but to be clear, what she did, she did. So let's put that on the table.
Right. I mean, there is no question that what those reports indicate she did was inappropriate. It was violation of ethics rules and even a violation of the law. And so there's no question about that. And there are many of us who have supported her and worked with her, invested in her success, and feel let down. We're concerned about how this misconduct will be used to undermine the accomplishments of how she attempted to reform the criminal legal system that was based on the work of tireless advocates and who don't have the privilege of the platforms that she had. And we're also concerned about how this will be used to discredit the efforts of diversifying government offices through appointments. But we also can't lose sight of the double standards that exist. There was over a dozen Trump administration officials who violated the Hatch Act, and the Office of Special Counsel, when questioned about their lack of vigor in going after those, said the Hatch Act is only as effective in ensuring a depoliticized federal workforce as the president decides it will be. And so, this administration chooses to take that much more seriously than the previous administration.
Let me circle back to what you just said about feeling disappointment. You know Rachel Rollins personally.
Yes. Yes.
And
I've known her since law school.
And how are you feeling about this?
I feel grieved for her as a person, what she has to go through. A single mother raising her child and her nieces, fighting this uphill battle of getting into these positions that for generations people said we don't deserve and don't belong in, and to make many strides in reforming these things. But also investing in her success, being an advocate that benefits from some of the changes that she tries to make, and knowing how this will be used to say, we told you she wasn't qualified. We told you she wasn't a good fit, that the things that she was doing were unsafe or were dangerous, or she's not the perfect person for this position. And that's frustrating. But it also raises concerns about how this impacts her career moving forward, but also impacts the movements that benefited from the positive things that she did.
What about the long-term damage to the community writ large, but Black community specifically?
Unfortunately, Callie, and you know this well, this is nothing new. There are always going to be Black elected officials, appointed officials in high-profile positions who get made an example, again, of why we shouldn't be in these places. And we always rebound. We always rally together to find another person to be a strong leader. And this should not discredit the years and generation of work that we as advocates and other elected officials have done, and also some of the positive things that she's done. So we'll continue to raise awareness. Hopefully more people know and understand what the Hatch Act is, so when they are appointed to federal positions, they don't violate it. And we'll continue to build and make strides to improve our communities.
All right, Rahsaan, thank you very much for your insight about the resignation of Rachel Rollins.
Thank you for having me.
Now, on to our main discussion. You may know that Massachusetts is home to the third largest Haitian community in the U.S., right after New York and Florida. But you may not know that May is Haitian Heritage Month, a month-long celebration of the history and culture of Haitians. This year's celebration of the contributions of local leaders takes place as the Haitian American community is also navigating social, economic, and immigration challenges. Joining us this evening, Dr. Alix Cantave, Senior Program Officer, Haiti, W.K. Kellogg Foundation. He is a former Associate Director of the William Trotter Institute at UMass Boston. Marie St. Fleur, Principal, St. Fleur Communications, and former State Representative, 5th Suffolk District. She was the first Haitian immigrant to hold public office in Massachusetts. Reverend Dieufort Fleurissaint, President and Executive Director, True Alliance Center, Incorporated, and Chair of the Haitian Americans United, Incorporated. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
You know, something else I believe people don't know is that Haiti was the first independent Black republic. That is, let me just get it right, just the first free Black republic in the world, the first independent state in the Caribbean, and the second independent state in the Western Hemisphere after the United States. I mean, I think that's a piece of history that should be here as we're talking about Haitian Heritage Month. And back to you, Marie St. Fleur. I didn't realize that not only were you the first in Massachusetts, but the first elected Haitian American in the United States.
For state office. For state office.
For state office.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
office,
that's impressive. So let's start with you. What is it that you would want us to know as you're celebrating Haitian Heritage Month about those contributions? And what is interesting to me, a very long connection between the U.S. and Massachusetts. U.S. and Haiti.
U.S. and Haiti, yes, absolutely.
I'll get it right. Yeah, okay.
So, you know what? I think that we should celebrate our accomplishments, even in the midst of the chaos that we find ourselves discussing as we talk about Haiti. I think we need to think about the fact that as part of the group of people that were stolen from a continent and that landed, that first stop, which was in the West Indies, and that these Black folks were able to persevere, push forward, and gain their freedom. And gain their freedom not simply for themselves, but then after they did that, they reached out. And they reached out and worked with Blacks who were in the United States. They reached out and supported supported, independence efforts in Venezuela and other parts of South America. So that is the spirit of the African people, that we're always trying to figure out how to support each other. But we're also the victims of that kidnapping that occurred, right? That violence that occurred, that consistent history of violence, and the lack of stability that created. Because what we did was we brought a bunch of people onto an island, and some of them different tribes, different languages, different cultures, and they had to forge as one. And so with that, they created this amazing opportunity for many of us, right? Believing in education, believing in respecting your culture, believing in discipline, believing in character formation, all those things you got in order to help us move forward. And it's all that connects us to the United States as well. And so as you know, Louisiana, when we think about Louisiana and the Louisiana Purchase, what led to it? It was what was happening with Bonaparte. Bonaparte needed more money in order to continue to suppress the slaves.
Napoleon
right?
Bonaparte.
Napoleon Bonaparte. And in order to continue to suppress the slaves, they needed more resources. And so the French were able to get into this arrangement where you had the Louisiana Purchase and allowed us to have that huge part of the United States, which we now all enjoy, right? To be part of this country. When we think about the evolution of blacks in America, the fact that when you think about Chicago and the World Fair, and the fact that one of the black republics that was featured in the World Fair, that first world, was Haiti. When you think about Frederick Douglass and him being, we didn't want to call him an ambassador at the time because we came with all sorts of names, but who actually first represented a foreign nation, right? As an African American, at the time we were all just black, right? That black man who represented that. There it was. That's that connection. When you think about the arts, Catherine Durham, and the beauty of the arts
we got it, Marie.
We were there.
That was
so
a
that's
lot.
the connection. Yeah,
Right,
so that's the connection.
right.
And I won't touch on, W.E.B. Du Bois.
Right. All right. So there's a lot of history
There's a lot of
and
connections.
culture to celebrate here. At the same time, Alix, we're at a moment in time where there's a lot of more pressures on Haiti, I would say. And we should, going back to that history, to know that if you become the first independent black republic, there was a lot of pressure from other countries not to allow Haiti to infect independence in other places. So from the beginning, there were pressures to try to go against Haiti's success.
No, I mean, totally. I think the best way to begin with that is former Prime Minister of Haiti, Madame Michelle Pierre-Louis, in a meeting with the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, she said, Haiti was the first place to affirm that Black Lives Matter and has been paying for it ever since. And I think that kind of summarizes, where Haiti is, because what Haiti did was not just to saying Black Lives Matters, because when you make someone a slave, you have to dehumanize them. You have to devalue their lives. And what Haiti basically said, and what we're celebrating, this month, is the fact that Haiti is saying every person is a person. No human being should own another human being, and no country should own another country. So that affirmation of saying Black Lives Matter, and this is something that, it goes beyond just what we're seeing with the police brutality, with devaluing of Black lives and Black bodies, to saying that Black Lives Matter. And I think that's what the Haitian Revolution in Haiti represents today, in terms of really what does that mean. And Haiti's been paying for it ever since. So what's happening in Haiti is part of that legacy of colonialism and slavery. And I think that's what Rahsaan was saying too. This notion that we don't belong, we don't deserve. So Haiti didn't belong in the global system at the time. Haiti didn't deserve to be free. So therefore, we're going to penalize. And I think, so that's what we're seeing today. And the turmoil that Marie speaks about is that legacy. Because Haiti was isolated for nearly 100 years.
That's right.
After independence. And then for Haiti now to become part of the world community, Haiti had to pay France the equivalent of today, $30 billion. So that's the cost of Haitian freedom in this affirmation of Black Lives Matter. That's the cost that Haiti is still paying today. And I think that's where, with the Kellogg Foundation this month, yesterday, we launched this campaign called Pockets of Hope, which is also a term we borrowed from Madame Pierre-Louis, saying that there are really impactful things going on in Haiti. What we're hearing and seeing in the news, it's not all there is. There's 11 million people, depending on how we're counting. There are children that have to go to school every day. They have to be fed every day. Mothers have to give birth. So farmers, so there's 11 million people in that place that are surviving and living every day, and they deserve better.
Mm-hmm. We're going to circle back to Projects of Hope. I want to go over to you, Reverend, because right now you're offering hope to a lot of immigrants from Haiti. Over 1,000 in the last few weeks have arrived in Boston. As we've said, there's a special Massachusetts connection with Haiti, as been demonstrated by the history. But the reality is that these are people who have come and they need resources and shelter. And it's a crisis that they're escaping from some of the conditions that Alix just referred to. And if others are not aware, there's gang violence on the rise. In January, the last of the state senators resigned. So there's a lot of chaos going on in some parts of Haiti. And so people have arrived here looking for the assistance and a way to connect with the third largest Haitian immigrant community in the United States. So how are you interacting with those folks who've come here? What do you say about why they're here, and particularly that connection between Haiti and Boston and Massachusetts in particular?
Well, thank you so much, Callie, for having having us to discuss that on this historic month, the month of May, the Haitian Heritage Month, while we're celebrating the 228th anniversary of the flag that identify Haiti as a nation. And I can see that's the resiliency of the people of Haiti, basically, despite all the chaotic situation and heartaches they're facing on a daily basis. In fact, when they find an opportunity to leave Haiti, to travel through Central American countries, it doesn't matter how long it takes for them to make it, even though they face so many traumatic situations on their journey to make it to the Mexican borders, waiting to make it to the United States. So they have that hope, basically, when they arrive, when they are able to cross the borders. But they made their way to Massachusetts, just hoping to improve the quality of their lives. And that's basically what we are helping them to understand by connecting them with the different resources, telling them there is still hope. We are serving a God of hope. The fact that God had preserved their lives from Haiti to Central American countries to make it to the borders, and were able, because there are thousands of people that got deported for the past 2 years. But the fact that those who arrived here in search of to improve the quality of their lives, as a pastor, as a community leader, also understand that that's not something that I can do on my own. I just got to connect with also social, legal institutions, Haitian institution in the ground, but also connect also with state municipalities as well, to making sure that we help those people understand that there is hope for them in the state of Massachusetts.
Will there be room for them, Pastor, in the end? And there's a lot of folks, and I know you had mentioned that more came even last year. So there are a number of people too, and we are not in a nationwide. The conversation about immigration, largely, broadly, is not welcoming. Let's just say. So you're operating against that too. It doesn't matter who the immigrant is. People or the conversation tends to be somewhat negative. So how do you manage that, at this time?
But understand, forging relationship with diverse organizations, like we have an organization in Malapen called Immigrant Family Services Institute that I work closely with, basically just to connect those immigrants with different resources. So we understand how difficult the housing landscape is in Massachusetts, but understand when we bring the issue to the mayor, to the city of Boston mayor, so she understands exactly where we're at, and find ways basically just to call the governors to see how we can use what we already have. Use the hotels, use the motels, use the military bases, establish welcoming centers for those migrants, even though we scattered them throughout Massachusetts. Right now, they're scattered throughout Massachusetts. But Massachusetts is a very wealthy state, basically, that can definitely come to a comprehensive plan to making sure that we give exactly hope and the accommodation for those families.
Okay. How does Project Hope, or the Project's Hope that the Kellogg Foundation has now just put $90 million into, if I'm understanding that right?
We try to raise.
We're trying to raise $90 million for that effort, eventually going to connect with what's happening here on the ground, and not just in Massachusetts, but in the United States.
The Pockets of Hope, what we're calling the Pockets of Hope campaign, first is to saying that we need to really invest in what's happening in Haiti. So to look at some of the partners we work with, some of them are right here in Boston, St. Roch Haiti Foundation, St. Boniface Haiti Foundation.
So is Boston
Partners in
critical
Health.
to this, do you think?
Boston is very critical to this, but what's happening too is you have to allow people to remain in Haiti. Right now, there's a serious issue with teachers. We support a network of schools in Haiti, the Model School Network, Summit Education, which is also based here in Boston. Teachers are leaving the country. Nurses are leaving. So there is a need for people to remain. So our primary goal is to invest in making sure that we support local initiatives that are impactful, that would then enable key folks to remain in the country and to continue to provide the services that 11 million people critically, urgently need: education, health, agriculture. So that's our first priority. In terms of what's happening with immigration, we are very concerned about it. We work both in Mexico and we work in Costa Rica, Honduras, Brazil. I was in Tijuana right before COVID, just visiting the migrants who were there. There's a lot of children. So we now have to think about how do we support these children, both in terms of the traumatic experiences of going through that journey. And when I was there speaking to some of the families, a lot of young children, many of them were not born in Haiti. So which means that they may or may not speak Creole.
Right.
Some of them speak Spanish, others speak Portuguese. What services do we provide for them? So we see them all as Haitians, but how do we then, how would we support these kids? The other thing that I've learned being at the border, US-Mexico border, was that every family that I spoke with or spoke to experienced, or at least in the group that because the travel was in group, somebody died.
Right.
At
So
least
trauma.
one person. There's trauma. People are raped. So there's a lot of trauma associated with that journey. And for us is really, how do you deal with that? Right. How do you provide the support to those families, and particularly those children who've experienced that trauma over a period of time? It's a very long journey. Now, if you visualize the map of Mexico,
Oh, no, I got it.
these folks arrive, even after that journey,
Right.
they arrive at the southern part of Mexico
Right.
and try to make it to northern Mexico.
Right.
So in the same way they are scattered in Massachusetts, they're also scattered throughout Mexico.
Right.
So we are looking at supporting both the Haitian migrants, Haitian children in Mexico, but also how we support them here in the U.S. as well.
So Maria, you have, in our last minutes here, you are still working on policy, having served, and you continue to serve in various roles that have to do with Haiti and the Haitian Americans who live here or who may come to live here. What would you say? I know there's conversation back and forth to the White House. Are there two critical points, or even one critical point that needs to happen now that can advance some of the projects of hope, can support what the Reverend is doing here with people who have arrived, understanding that what Alix has just said, and if you have emphasized, you don't want everybody to leave the country. People need to be able to live there.
People do need to live here. I think the United Nations Security Council came out with their report, I think, in early May. And there's 2 points that they raised that I think we really need to focus on. You know, and one was the community security. and community security from the perspective of really convening the community in Haiti in order to help them, to support them in their goals and objectives and how they want to maintain security in Haiti. Because there are really, I mean, I would say if you think about Port-au-Prince as a crime scene and put that yellow tape around it, and then think out, you have to have a particular strategy for that space. And then you think about the rest of the country in terms of what's happening, and then being able to support those pockets of hope. So that's one piece. Then the second piece that they need to really focus on is really the social economic piece, which is jobs and food security. And I think if we can continue to provide support for that, that would be very critical. In the United States here, we need the better coordination of services. In Massachusetts, I want to give it up to the governor and the mayor for what they've done thus far in terms of resources they're putting out. But the coordination is the issue, because places like the Boston Medical Center, who has to absorb some of that when they come in, we don't have the infrastructure for housing, even for people who are here. And so what are we going to do about it, and how we're going to better coordinate it? I think those are the things that have to happen right now. Security, community security, support the efforts on the ground, social economic, jobs, as well as food, and then here, better coordination and resources.
Well, that's where we'll leave it now, because this is an ongoing conversation. That's the end of our broadcast, the end of our show. I thank you for joining us, and now stay with us as we continue our conversation on our digital platforms, YouTube and Facebook. I'm Callie Crossley, host of Under the Radar 89.7. We are on YouTube and Facebook with our post show continuing our discussion on Haitian Heritage Month. Now, we did talk a little bit about all of those heritages that you mentioned with the Frederick Douglass and everybody else, but then we appropriately have discussed some of the issues on the ground right now. But I want to circle back, because Flag Day just happened, and that's a big part of Haitian Heritage Month, and just talk about some of the things that are celebrated in the context of understanding there are some issues to be considered, particularly, Reverend, you're in the middle of it. But let's talk about heritage and culture and Flag Day, and why that's very exciting for folks.
How is it exciting for folks? I mean, I think we, as Haitians, we're very proud of Haitian history. And I still see Haiti as a very beautiful place. When you travel throughout the country, there's just the generosity of the people. You know, just art and culture is everywhere. Music. So there's just this sense of, not just a sense of pride, but there's a sense of beauty. When you are in Haitian countryside, and I recall taking a group of students from UMass Boston to Haiti, and we were in the southern part of the country. And, we were there talking to, a group of small organization way in the southern part of the country. And there was about 15 of us, students and faculties, with the group. At the end of the day, they fed all of us, And, some of the students were in tears, because what you've learned is this is the poorest country. But yet here we are in this village, and here's these folks who don't have much. But whatever they have, they share it with visitors, with guests they have never met. I have no idea who we were. So that's really the beauty that's being celebrated when you talk about Haiti and Haitian culture, is this sense of generosity, of welcoming. And that's really why we feel very strongly at the foundation that these folks deserve better.
Yeah, I would want to second that. I left Haiti when my parents immigrated before I did, and I came here when I was 6 years old. I didn't actually go to Haiti until I was in my late 30s because my parents did not support that kind of going back and forth. And I was in the legislature when I finally, remember, I think Alix had been trying to get me to go, and we finally went. What I found, that generosity is real. The humanity. And I remember thinking, I saw a group of people trying to, remember I have this picture of my head of these folks trying to get into a top. And I know I grew up going on the orange line when there was the L. And so people be pushing you out of the way to get in, but I get into this space where they're trying to pull each other. The top is moving, and they're trying to reach back and pull that next person to get them in there and to support them getting in with all of their provisions in order to get there. That was, watching that was astounding to me. In the midst of what I thought was so much poverty, it's how we defined wealth. And there's a wealth of spirit. There's a wealth of humanity. There's a wealth and appreciation for nature. There's a wealth and appreciation for the arts. Their Africanism has not been set aside. They've actually embraced it. When you go to the beaches there and you get to understand the beauty of this country, when you see the waterfalls, and my family came from the northern part of the country, and so there's a sense of independence that's been retained there that continues, and that is forged throughout. So it is the beauty of the arts, the beauty of the people, the beauty of the geography itself, the topography of the country, if we could just preserve it. And the perseverance, the resilience of being a person of an African descent. There's a resilience that comes from there because so many of us did not make it to the shores. So those who made it were people who were very resilient and to some extent have passed it through in that DNA. We see it here in the United States. We see it in every place. We see it in Haiti. We see it in every place where we've landed. And it's also the artistry of the folks, the culture, the music, the food, what they've been able to take. I say black people eat the same things everywhere because I've had the benefit of being a mutt and being able to experience it all. And so the fact that we've taken what the Europeans said that they didn't want, right, and we've taken it and turned it into delicacies and things that we love to eat. So the pie to the pig that they'd eat was probably not what would have come from as the kids would say, the colonizer, right? Yeah. But it is what we had to eat, and we've been able to take it and make it into something amazing. So and now you see it in the culinary experience that's happening in most parts of even in Boston right now. If you go and you ask for a black doctor, you ask for a black nurse, you ask for you look at black businesses, a significant number of those folks of Haitian descent. Right. And so that's what's come. I mean, that's what we're celebrating. The fact that in spite of the fact that in 1804 we were not meant to survive beyond 1806, we are still here. Racism did not stop at the border of North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi. It got exported, and it continues to be exported in the foreign policies that we continue to support, the way that we appropriate foreign aid. So we need to understand that legacy continues in the way we operate in Haiti. And so when we celebrate, I think we're celebrating our continuous commitment to resist, to persist, and to thrive despite the chaos.
What's your favorite thing to celebrate, how you celebrate Haitian Heritage Month, Reverend?
But I'm celebrating it as the bonding, the attachment that we have with each other. When we meet, we can reflect upon where we were when we were in Haiti. I grew up in Haiti. I migrated here when I was a young adult, but understands all the great memories that I used to have when we were in Haiti together, growing up together, going to school together, walking on the streets of Haiti
so gatherings,
together. All those gatherings
yes,
together,
okay,
just to make this remembrance to do that. But there was a question people asked me, the fact that they've seen so many horrible things taking place in Haiti, why should we should celebrate it? They feel in terms of I would say depressed to see what happened nowadays. We can't be depressed upon that because Haiti existed before. Haiti will continue to exist despite what we've been going on. So we need to come together to reflect upon just the historical aspects of it, what was done before with our forefathers when they came in together and said, well, enough is enough. We no longer wanted to be slave. We need to be free. And that's what it is. And that's the same spirit that we need to have to say we no longer want Haiti to remain the way it is right now. Haiti should strive. Haiti should not be in the position that it is. And then when we group together, when we gather together in the historical moments, the Flag Day, the Heritage Month, we definitely know for sure that things could get better in Haiti while we are gathering together here. So that's what basically it encourages us to come together and to celebrate, not to let this moment pass by us, because it definitely brings us together to reflect upon what happened 219 years ago, but at the same time also to know that there is a hope, there's a future for Haiti. And we should see that as well from the children of the first Haitian dual language program that I helped just put it in place in Marapen, the we call it Toussaint Louverture Academy. That's one of the precursors of the independence. And to see those children on Flag Days singing the Haitian national anthem in Haitian Creole, but to see, you can see that's the hope that exists among those children, knowing that they are Haitians, whether or not they were born here, whether all the even students not being from Haitian parents, but they combine themselves together with all of us to sing together and to celebrate Haitian culture. You can understand that there is also hope for Haiti.
How important is that, the Creole language learning with those young people to maintaining or highlighting, making more visible what Haitian culture is all about, do you think?
But absolutely, it's definitely just to make it vivid for us to know as a community, a Haitian community, we need to preserve our culture, we need to preserve our language. Not only that, we need to make that known also to all the immigrant groups, just exactly what had happened before, because it connects us. Because when we speak the Haitian Creole, it connects that directly to our country, knowing that. Because there are certain times that you would like to express yourself, even though you speak English, but when you can express it in your own native language, it comes out much better. So that's the way it is.
Reverend, I've heard people express it, and I didn't know what they were saying exactly, but I knew what they were saying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. I personally am an art collector, so I have Haitian art. I bought it from a gallery in Los Angeles years ago, but I know that part of the celebratory month's activities here in Boston are centered around Haitian art, which is beautiful, and dance is really gorgeous. I know there's a lot of connection between dancers here and dancers in Haiti, and certainly celebrating what those styles are and how they've influenced dance styles here. So that part is, I think, very important in representing both history and culture. And I don't know how you all...
I was laughing because I always feel that we're celebrating Haitian liberation. Haitian liberation is Black liberation. And I think that's a very important piece. And I'll go back to the idea of arts and culture. The reason I'm saying Haitian liberation is Black liberation, when Haiti became independent in its first constitution, what the constitution said was that every Black person that comes to Haiti, it's automatically a Haitian citizen and a free person. Which is why there was a number of Blacks in America, who not just in America, but throughout the Caribbean, who migrated to Haiti. And the minute you arrive to Haiti as a Black person, this is at a time when you had slavery throughout the Americas. As a Black person, you arrive to Haiti, you're automatically free, and you are a Haitian citizen. The Du Bois family, from New England, from Massachusetts, went to Haiti. In fact, W. Du Bois's cousin became, I don't know if it's a cousin, but close relative of W.E.B. Du Bois, became Minister of Education in Haiti. The first Minister of Health and Education in the north part of Haiti was African American, Prince Saunders, whose papers are at the Boston Public Library. So there's that connection, even around arts and culture. Catherine Dunham, right? She went to Haiti.
Beautiful dancer.
Oh my gosh. If you watch the stormy weather That's when, if you watch Stormy Weather, there's this part where
The
Lena
movie
Horne,
Stormy
the
Weather.
movie Stormy Weather,
Yeah,
when
some
she's
people know.
singing the song Stormy Weather, and then that introduces Catherine Dunham, the movement, that became modern dance in the U.S. That's the beginning of modern dance in America. And that was a very Caribbean, because she spent a lot of times in Haiti, in Jamaica, in Cuba. Lavina Williams. So there's this very strong cultural connections. You know, this is why I go back to the point in saying Haitian liberation is black liberation. It really is. And I think we have to see it that way. And which is one of the reasons, if you go back, when you read Ta-Nehisi's quotes, we're in power for 8 years. What was happening, even in the US, after the Civil War, even after emancipation, this notion that it was the divine right of the white man to govern. I mean, people actually said that. I think it was the person who became president after Abe Lincoln was assassinated, said that it was the divine right of the white man to govern. And the reference to that as to was always Haiti. So Haiti represents that for the black world. This notion of self-determination, this notion of black liberation and black self-determination and governance. Again, that's the isolation for 100 years. Because Haiti couldn't be seen that black former slave can in fact govern themselves and be successful.
All right. Well, that's a great place to leave it in a discussion about Haitian Heritage Month. I thank you all for joining me.
Thank
Good
you
to
so
be
much.
with you. Kelly.
Thank you so much for
Really
being
good
with
to be
you.
with you.
And then hoping
Yeah.
to see you on Sunday on the Haitian Flag Day.
I want you to
Flag
pray
Day-
for me.
Flag Day parade. I will pray for you so that you can march with us on the Haitian Flag Day Sunday in Marapin.